So the only reason you're going to want to watch this right now is because you are a high performer. Because let's be perfectly honest, your health is really important. Your immunity is really important, especially with all the crazy stuff going on in the world right now. And I've got a pretty good idea that you want to be able to get in better shape and not in worse shape as well. And you need to be able to perform day in, day out, not just for yourself, but for your family and for your business as well. That's why I'm really excited for Justin and I to be able to share with you exactly what it is you need to be doing today to be able to be in better health, be able to get in better shape, and to be able to perform better day in, day out by pretty much doing the exact opposite from what all the other personal trainers in the health and fitness industry is telling you. So Justin, I'm super excited to go in with you today, brother.
Well, thank you for having me, Chris. And it's an absolute pleasure to have the opportunity to help a lot of people out there.
All right.
Just the first.
Yeah,
go ahead, Chris.
Go, brother.
All right, just to first get started, what you mentioned before about the industry standards, having template protocols or even seemingly individual protocols, which to be honest are not individual at all. So you as a person are going to require, firstly to track what it is your body's missing out on. In order to do that, we need really in-depth investigation, not just a subjective investigation, but an objective investigation as well. So what we do is before we actually even start on getting you to the best optimal position that you need to be in, we first figure out exactly what it is that you're missing out on. So within your body, through biochemical analysis, through blood chemistry analysis, as well as symptomatic analysis, figuring out how those two cross and analyze with one another to get outcomes which we can actually implement toward improving your health.
Awesome. Okay, so this is fantastic. So let's break down then what it is that we've really got to go through, because at the end of the day, as we've talked about, you need to be able to take care of your health, okay? So you getting the actual results for you, you showing up the best way of yourself day in, day out, you need to be in greater health. You need to be able to perform for yourself, for your family, for your business, and you want to be able to get in better shape. So we need to be able to take care of your body. So I think a great thing that we could share right now, Justin, is Barry. I'd love to know, Jermaine, like what happened with Barry when he first came in, and then what is actually happening with him now, because he's a multi-seven-figure CEO and entrepreneur, and I think a perfect example of someone that was trying really hard, doing all the right things, but actually wasn't achieving results.
Yeah, he was. He's a well-versed and educated man. He knew a lot about the different dietary protocols that are currently in the market, which most people do. It's not a question of lack of knowledge, especially for the community that we are appealing toward. It's a question of lack of how to apply the knowledge. And the application is very important. And that's where accountability and coaching come into hand. So what really worked with Barry is that we utilize his biometric analysis, which incorporates 4 different variables, to basically understand when things were going out of sync. And what we were able to ascertain just through doing this is actually find out that he had a few food sensitivities that were really exacerbating his sympathetic response in his body. So, long story short is that he was eating really healthy, but a few of the components within this seemingly healthy diet just caused him to go into a state of stress. We cut those out, took those out. We changed a few lifestyle habits in terms of incorporating mineral support that he was deficient in. And all of a sudden, he went from a glucose fasted rate of 6.2 down to the high 4s and low 5s. And it was pretty much done over a period of 3 weeks. Now Barry's losing weight, he's gaining muscle, but very importantly, in our conversation, he's a lot more positive. When he first came on, you could see that he was overwhelmed. You could see that he was feeling tired. And now it's as if like he's a whole new person. He's sending me messages on a constant basis, just literally professing complete enthusiasm behind what it is that he's doing. That's important, Chris.
Yeah,
if one is motivated to do anything, it's very difficult to improve health, to increase performance, and to get a better body. You need to be motivated. And that's the biggest difference to change in these aspects is the motivation within Barry has literally ensued.
Amazing. Okay, so I guess at the end of the day, what we really need to cover is the meat and potatoes of this. So the good question someone would be asking us right now is be like, Justin, Chris, this sounds great, but what is it that we actually need to do? And this is where we need to start with the big thing. I think the first thing that we need to really focus on is a big part of why we do, you and I, what we do with our clients. And which really comes down to sniper accuracy. So when it comes down to us being very precise in what it is that we do, because let's be perfectly honest, Justin, I know that a lot of clients are coming to you right now saying This is the complete opposite from what I've been told to do or what I was doing before. And why we are so confident in giving the prescriptions and giving the plans to our clients and why they get the results just as varied is because it's actually personalized to them, and why I kind of wrote down the 3-step process that we go down, Jimmy. We've got to go through investigation, we've got to go and create personalization, and then we've got to go through calibration to make sure that on an ongoing basis it's together. So when it comes to accuracy, what is it, Justin, that we really need to be looking at, and why do we need to be accurate as well so people can really be achieving better results?
Okay. First and foremost, understand the person's perception, what they're going through, and the symptoms that they're experiencing. That's a subjective element. This is what we do with the initial onboarding procedure. We have 3 very in-depth forms, one of which is over 350 questions long. Yes, it can be somewhat tedious to the person, to some of those out there that may not necessarily be as invested toward improving their performance. However, the reason why we have such detailed questionnaires is because we really want to get down to the nitty-gritty of every possible stone, not leaving it unturned, and getting an idea of where to go from there. Second, we take the subjective information that our clients are giving us. We put it on the shelf for the time being. We do a blood chemistry analysis. We get the objective understanding of what the body's actually deficient in. Then we take it off the shelf. We cross-analyze the two, and then we get a quantitative idea as to why the client is experiencing what they're experiencing and as to why they haven't been performing in the way in which they should. From there, we create a blueprint. Now, this is only the starting point. I mean, for most other protocols out there, this is pretty much beyond the end point. But in our protocol, it's a starting point because, as any architect would tell you, a blueprint doesn't necessarily dictate the accuracy of the outcome of a building, because a blueprint is up for interpretation and alteration as well. So depending on how a person actually responds to a protocol, which is what we do on a daily basis, we utilize biometric analysis to determine exactly how well that blueprint is actually falling in line for the health improvement. And if it isn't, we make changes and alterations, just as an architect would make on their blueprint, to create that architectural masterpiece so that you're not living in a shack, but you're living in a mansion by the end of it. And that is how we apply our sniper accuracy.
Okay, dude, I absolutely love this. So let's go into the next big kind of like factor that we need to make sure that everyone's got right. And that really comes down to personalized nutrition. So let's go through, Justin, when it comes to personalized nutrition, what does that actually mean, and what can someone actually be doing today to make sure that they've got personalized nutrition?
Okay, so first, before I can answer that question, most people will think of personalized nutrition as following some type of trend, whether it be ketosis for fat loss, whether it be intermittent fasting for dealing with bacterial dysbiosis. However, all these protocols are not personalized because it's not taking into account the actual outcome of application. So what we do is, as mentioned before, within the blueprint, we create a nutritional protocol, but through its application and seeing exactly how your body is responding to that nutrition, there are alterations that are made. And sometimes those alterations are made in a daily question in order for you to be able to get the best possible outcome of what I call DADU. It's an acronym, DADU. And it's so imperative that we optimize this. And DADU stands for digestion, assimilation, detoxification, and utilization. And this is the outcome of what we're trying to achieve. We're really trying to improve on DADU. In order to get DADU to its most optimal, we got to figure out exactly when things are going wrong, even on a seemingly healthy plan, so that we can really optimize how the body actually accesses nutrients and improves its performance.
I love this. Okay, fantastic. This is really good. So I guess at the last point, because whenever I really look at coaching at the end of the day and what we do for our clients, it comes down to 3 basic things. It's really plan, tools, and help. We give the client the right plan. We give them the tools so they know what they need to do on a day-to-day basis. And really, we help them along the way as well. And I think that's the big part where I see so many people fall short on, is they don't have the expert help along the way for what it is they need to do. And Justin, I know doing the difference between what we do, and I know I'm biased because I think you are the absolute world's best. But when it comes to expert help, how are you actually helping clients on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis?
All right. So all the biometrics which we capture, we record, and we see a trend that comes from the biometrics. So although we can do day-to-day alterations on nutrition, we also do week-to-week to month-to-month alterations on the exercise strategy, on the lifestyle strategy, and also components within the lifestyle that actually can shift the person to a more optimal autonomic tone, rather than being in a state of either excessive parasympathetic or sympathetic dominance. And for those of you who don't know what that means, in this excessive state of stress or an excessive state of recovery, which means that you're tired. So, stress isn't a bad thing. Stress is actually a good thing if it's modulated. And through expert help, which we'll be able to provide guys through actually understanding what the body is telling us, we're able to alter the outcome of everyone's efforts to be able to optimize stress so they can have better health, can have better performance, and optimally have a better body to enable all of that to happen, come into fruition.
Amazing. Okay. Why do you think people don't achieve the results that they really want to achieve?
Overuse, overstimulation, annihilation instead of adaptation. So you either have two things that happen. You have the motivated corporate executive, business owner, high-performing executive coming on board with a lot of enthusiasm to get started, and they throw themselves headfirst, 180-degree turn. They cut out all these different types of foods, not replacing with anything else that's going to help them to manage their cravings. They go headfirst in doing an extreme workout plan that literally just puts them into a cortisol-dominant state, taxing their adrenals. Right, and eventually they lose motivation because they get tired, they get inflamed, and they generally start to lose focus in their cognition to other aspects of their life that also need focus, right, or attention. So this is one of the biggest reasons. The second scenario is you have the iron warrior, right, the corporate athlete, which I like to call. And they're the guys that will go into any protocol regardless of the outcome and just endure. And they keep on enduring, but they're pretty much getting nowhere. It's like almost trying to run a comrade's marathon in quicksand. You're sprinting along, but you're literally just sinking down the further you try to push your legs to stride faster. And this is the reason why people haven't really gotten where they need to get, is because they're just either trying too hard or they're not being able to maintain consistency to their effort because they don't know exactly what effort to apply.
Oh, dude. Okay. This is amazing. So I guess at the end of the day, what you right now listening and watching to us is you've got to ask yourself three basic questions. One, do you actually have accuracy over what it is that you are doing with your health, with your lifestyle, with the way that you move on a day-to-day level? Two, do you actually have personalization, especially when it comes to nutrition? Do you know why you're eating, what you're eating, when you're eating, and all the questions when it comes down to what you put inside of your mouth at the end of the day, because it's so important. And then it comes down to, do you know why you're moving, when you're moving, and everything that comes down to your training at the end of the day as well. And then, are you actually getting the right help on a day-to-day level on what it is that you need to do? Because I'll be perfectly honest, especially when it comes to businesses and like scaling a business, this is not a scalable business. Justin and I sat down and we were very conscious with our decision on this is not something that we can just handle tons and tons of clients. It's not, because we came to the table wanting to create literally the world's best coaching program for high performance. The people that know the difference, the people that know that if they put the effort in now, they're going to win later. And if they need the actual high quality at the end of the day, because I'm a big believer that you really pay for the results at the end. And this is the thing. You could go look for free information out online. You could go pay for cheap information that might not get what you want, or you could really just, get the results at the end of the day. So this is the way Justin and I work, is we need to make sure that we can actually help you at the end of the day. So what I'll do is I'll pop a link below this video so you can actually book in a free strategy session with myself, Justin, and our team. What you're going to do is you're going to be able to figure out exactly what it is that we can do to help you, and we'll figure out what's your biggest roadblock, what do you actually want to achieve, and third, what's the straightest line, what's that plan that you need to be able to achieve to actually get there as well. Also, chill out. There's nothing to buy on this first call. This is our way for Justin and I to know if we can actually help you, and therefore, worst case scenario, you run off with the plan that we've given you. Best case scenario, we'll be able to help you actually get it in as well. So what I'll do is I'll pop a link below, click that link, book in a time to talk to Justin, myself, and the team, and we'll be able to best help you. Justin, what do you want the people to walk away from today with?
I think let's just sum it up. It's funny that you talk about knowledge and the accessibility of information. It's freely available. I always think to myself, I don't understand as to why educational fraternities have actually exponentially increased the cost of getting a degree over the years, because information is more freely available now. It actually goes quite against the grain of what it should be. So it's not a question of the information not being there. It's a question of being able to put it in a usable format and being guided through it. And this comes down to time. Now, a lot of the people on this call, you know, are time poor, right? And this is the biggest area of contention in order to be able to get optimal health, is that it actually requires time to do the investigation, to figure out what is working, what isn't working. And that is where you have me to delegate that responsibility to, is that, you know, the information that I'm going to be able to give you is going to be accurate, it's going to be individual, it's going to be pinpointed to what you really need. But more importantly, you have me to lay off all the load of actually improving your health because of the time it takes in order to investigate as to how to do that. And I think that is the biggest investment that you get from this is, yes, we have the science, we have the backing, we have proof of the pudding behind the people that we've helped. But more importantly, we have the capacity of time to help you when you are time poor, so that you don't have to worry about giving up components of your life to do this yourself, trying to slave away whilst running a company as well. You can actually give that responsibility to us, knowing that you're actually going to get the results that you so desperately and deservingly are indebted to receive.
Justin, you're absolutely amazing. And like, look, I have had Justin coach me for years now. I've been in the pleasure of having Justin be able to impart his knowledge and absolutely make me, because when it comes to, at the end of the day, who is the best person to be able to coach people to get results? I honestly believe it's Justin, and that's why we've partnered for this as well. So I think it'd be a bit of a peanut not to take the next steps into us being able to help you as well. So Justin, thank you so much for today, brother. It's been awesome to be able to share this. I'm looking forward to chatting soon.
Well, thank you so much, Chris, and for everybody else out there during this time of the world, to stay healthy, stay vigilant, and most importantly, endure and stay happy and grateful for everything that we have and the opportunities that we have of time. You know, right now, a lot of us are in lockdown across the world, and you know, that really gives a great opportunity to be able to do something that we otherwise may not even think about, and that is time to really work on ourselves. And if we really shift as to how we're going to go about addressing the areas of concern, we can actually come out of this better human beings rather than, you know, flatten our wallets, which is quite the contrary, not something that needs to happen.